Hey everyone! Exciting news! Suyou is finally released on the normal server, and in today's video, we'll be diving into the top fighter heroes that can effectively counter him. If you're looking for the best picks to dominate against Suyou, stick around. Here are the top fighters that can take him down. 1. Jawhead. To effectively counter Suyou with Jawhead, you need to master the combo that maximizes damage and control. Start with Unstoppable Force to charge at Suyou, stunning him while gaining crowd control immunity. Immediately follow up with Ejector, throwing Suyou and extending the stun, displacing him for more control. While Suyou is stunned, activate Smart Missiles to deal consistent damage, stacking your passive for a 12% damage boost. The key is keeping up missile pressure while using stuns to disrupt Suyou's burst combo. Jawhead's shield and mobility give you the edge in sustaining through Suyou's attacks. Next on the list is Argus. In a 1v1 between Argus and Suyou, Argus has the tools to counter Suyou effectively. The key is Argus's ultimate, Eternal Evil, which grants death immunity for 4 seconds, allowing Argus to heal based on damage dealt during that time. To counter Suyou's burst, Argus should engage aggressively using Demonic Grip to stun and pull Suyou in, then slow him with Meteoric Sword to stay within range. Once Suyou unleashes his combo, activate Eternal Evil to survive, heal, and outlast Suyou's damage reduction. Argus's sustain and immunity give him the upper hand in prolonged fights. Before we proceed, please consider supporting my channel by liking, commenting, and sharing this video. This will make it easier for others in search of guidance to find it on YouTube. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more helpful content. Thank you. Coming in at number 3, we have Thamuz. In a fight between Thamuz and Suyou, Thamuz has a clear advantage in prolonged engagements. Thamuz's Cauterant Inferno not only boosts his HP by 500, but also heals him every time he lands a basic attack, allowing him to outlast Suyou's burst damage. While Suyou relies on short bursts with skills like Soul Sever and Blade Surge, Thamuz counters with consistent true damage from his passive, which ignores Suyou's damage reduction. His Molten Scythes slow Suyou, keeping him within Thamuz's damaging zone. Thamuz's sustain and ability to heal make him nearly unkillable in longer fights, giving him the upper hand against Suyou. At number 4, we have Masha. In a battle between Masha and Suyou, Masha can effectively counter Suyou thanks to her unique 3 HP bars, which make her extremely hard to burst down. Even though Suyou deals strong burst damage, Masha's wild power lets her deal percentage-based damage to Suyou's max HP with every attack, scaling perfectly against him. Masha can also slow Suyou's attack speed with Howl Shock and become immune to crowd control with Thunderclap, giving her an edge in mobility and survivability. Additionally, each time Masha loses an HP bar, she can heal back completely, making her unbeatable in extended fights, outlasting Suyou's burst strategy. Number 5 is Silvanna. In a battle between Silvanna and Suyou, Silvanna can counter Suyou effectively with her powerful crowd control and sustain. Silvanna's ultimate, Imperial Justice, traps Suyou in a circle of light for 3.5 seconds, boosting her attack speed and lifesteal. This allows her to survive Suyou's burst damage while continuously healing. By combining Comedic Lance for a stun and Spiral Strangling for damage and shielding, Silvanna can withstand Suyou's attacks. Her ability to lock Suyou in place and outlast him in extended fights makes her a formidable counter, forcing Suyou to either escape or risk defeat. At number 6, we have X.Borg. In a battle between X.Borg and Suyou, X.Borg's Faraga armor gives him a key advantage, acting like a second health pool that absorbs most of Suyou's burst damage. X.Borg's fire missiles deal sustained damage, and once the armor breaks, he becomes temporarily immune while preparing for his explosive ultimate, Last Insanity. The true damage from this detonation bypasses Suyou's damage reduction, making X.Borg even more dangerous. Suyou can burst through X.Borg's armor quickly, but X.Borg's ability to disengage and re-enter the fight with his armor restored makes him very tough to take down. This gives X.Borg the edge in prolonged battles. Coming in at number 7 is Lapu-Lapu. In a 1v1 between Lapu-Lapu and Suyou, Lapu-Lapu has the edge due to his superior survivability and crowd control immunity. Lapu-Lapu's passive shields and damage reduction make him tougher to take down, while his ultimate gives him immunity to Suyou's stuns and slows. Although Suyou's burst damage is higher, Lapu-Lapu's sustained damage from his combo, like Raging Slash, allows him to keep the pressure on. Lapu-Lapu also stuns Suyou with Land Shaker and dashes in and out of combat, making it hard for Suyou to land a decisive blow. In prolonged battles, Lapu-Lapu's shields and consistent damage make him the likely winner. If you've made it this far into the video, chances are you're really enjoying the content. We'd love to have your support in growing the channel. By subscribing, liking, and sharing, you're not just helping us out, you're making it possible for us to bring you even more top-notch content. We've gone the extra mile to provide in-depth hero counter-analysis, detailed comparisons, and the best builds for every scenario in Mobile Legends. For even more tips and strategies, check out my website at vonito.blogspot.com. So, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for exclusive content and updates you won't want to miss. At number 8, we have Ruby. In a 1v1 battle between Ruby and Suyou, Ruby has a significant advantage due to her superior sustain and crowd control. While Suyou can unleash high burst damage up to 1730 in his optimal combo, Ruby's abilities allow her to heal substantially through her spell vamp, recovering up to 125% of the damage dealt with her skills. Ruby's crowd control is key. She has multiple stuns and pulls that can disrupt Suyou's combos, especially during his immortal form. Suyou's reliance on minor healing and damage reduction makes him vulnerable to Ruby's consistent healing and increased defenses after each skill use. Ultimately, Ruby's ability to tank damage, heal, and control the fight positions her as the likely victor in this matchup, especially in extended engagements. Number 9 is Dyrroth. In a 1v1 battle, Dyrroth holds the advantage over Suyou due to his stronger damage output and sustain. Dyrroth can deal 2805 base damage in a combo, significantly higher than Suyou's 1730, with his ultimate scaling based on Suyou's lost HP. Dyrroth's passive healing also helps him recover health during fights, unlike Suyou's minimal healing of just 150 HP. Dyrroth's crowd control further weakens Suyou, reducing his physical defense and slowing him, which amplifies Dyrroth's damage. Overall, Dyrroth's damage, healing, and crowd control make him the likely winner in this duel. At number 10, we have Martis. In a 1v1 battle between Martis and Suyou, Martis has several key advantages that allow him to effectively counter Suyou. First, Martis's Mortal Coil grants 60% damage reduction while making him immune to crowd control, which can negate Suyou's stuns and slows, preventing Suyou from landing his full burst combo. Suyou's damage reduction is only 20%, so Martis easily comes out on top here. Next, Martis's Ashura Aura and Mortal Coil offer consistent crowd control, including knockbacks, knockups, and a 40% slow. This heavy CC makes it hard for Suyou to maintain pressure or escape. Finally, Martis's ultimate Decimation is his trump card. If Suyou drops below 50% HP, Martis can finish him with 1,000 true damage, bypassing Suyou's damage reduction entirely. In the end, Martis's superior damage output, CC immunity, and true damage finisher make him the stronger choice in this matchup. Coming in at number 11 is Alpha. In a 1v1 battle between Alpha and Suyou, Alpha has several key advantages that allow him to counter Suyou effectively. First, Alpha's true damage from Beta is critical, dealing 390 true damage across his skills. This bypasses Suyou's damage reduction, making Alpha's damage more consistent throughout the fight. Second, Alpha's sustain from his second skill, Force Swing, heals him for 200 HP when it hits, helping him outlast Suyou in longer battles, while Suyou's healing is minimal. Additionally, Alpha's crowd control is stronger with a 1-second stun from his ultimate and a 1.5-second slow, making it harder for Suyou to execute his combos. Meanwhile, Suyou's 0.5-second stun is less impactful. Overall, Alpha's true damage, healing, and superior crowd control give him the edge, making him more likely to win against Suyou. At number 12, we have Chou. In a 1v1 battle between Chou and Suyou, Chou has the tools to counter Suyou effectively. First, Chou's burst damage is higher, with a total combo dealing 420 base damage, while Suyou's tap combo only hits for 1020. Even with Suyou's hold cast skills, his damage won't surpass Chou's. Second, Chou has superior crowd control, with a knockup from his first skill and a knockback from his ultimate, which can disrupt Suyou's combos. He can also dodge Suyou's stuns with Shunpo's control immunity, allowing him to stay aggressive. Finally, Chou's shield from Shunpo absorbs damage, helping him survive Suyou's burst and control the fight. Overall, Chou's higher damage, better mobility, and crowd control give him a clear advantage over Suyou. Number 13 is Zhong. In a 1v1 fight between Zhong and Suyou, Zhong has several ways to counter Suyou effectively. First, Zhong's sustain is a major advantage. His passive, Cursing Touch, stacks up to 5 times, dealing true damage and restoring his HP. This healing outlasts Suyou's damage reduction, which only blocks a percentage of damage. Second, Zhong's burst potential in Black Dragon form is massive. He can deal up to 13,000 damage in his full combo, surpassing Suyou's 11,750 maximum combo. Zhong's control immunity during his ultimate also helps him avoid Suyou's crowd control. Finally, Zhong's consistent healing and crowd control, with skills like Dragon Tail and Soul Grip, allow him to withstand Suyou's attacks and deliver strong counters, making Zhong the favored hero in this matchup. And finally, at number 14, we have Freya. In a 1v1 matchup between Freya and Suyou, Freya has several advantages that can help her counter Suyou effectively. First, Freya's burst damage potential is impressive. With her Spirit combo, she can deal over 2,700 damage in a single combo. Combined with her ultimate, Valkyrie Descent, which gives her a shield and splash damage, she can maximize her output and survivability during critical moments. Next, Freya's mobility and crowd control, with Leap of Faith, allow her to engage or disengage quickly, providing strategic flexibility. This is essential against Suyou, who relies on his Blade Surge for mobility. Finally, while Suyou has strong sustain through healing, Freya's shield from Valkyrie Descent can absorb significant damage, enabling her to withstand Suyou's burst attacks effectively. Overall, if Freya plays aggressively and utilizes her burst capabilities and shields wisely, she can overcome Suyou in this duel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out the video on screen for more tips and strategies. See you on the battlefield.